Because each patient, the case is different, the case taking is different, the approach is different, and the needs, like whether you would use rubrics or mathematica or sensation or everything together in a case, would depend from patient to patient. So when a patient comes, I don't sit there with an idea that I'm going to practice sensation method or I'm going to look at rubrics. Sensation method is just a way of understanding the patient better. What are you treating is very important to understand. I don't have to go back to the basics that there is something dynamic in the remedy. Why our homeopathic medicine works? Because there is something in it which cannot be measured. It's not a material like natrium has a sodium chloride in it, that's why it works. We are not talking about it. We know there is an energy, it can affect the energy. It has an information. So in a patient, what we are doing is we are looking for the similar information. Patient's information, patient's energy, something peculiar which we can see in the medicine. Now that peculiar may be at a just simple rubric level, simple physical particular level. You must have seen a lot of cases by this time. It can come even from a materia medica keynote, or there is a beautiful method, you can come to it through sensation also. So it's not a rigid process. You can use it even a rubric. Ideal is you use everything together. You'll have to give me 2 minutes. I'll show you a nice PowerPoint. Only, where is it? I was not intending to show you this PowerPoint, but okay. So when we are taking the case, what is a case taking for us? How do we, whether we use the rubric in a case, or whether we use materia medica in a case, or we use sensation, how do we do it? Because some part of the case looks like plant, some part looks like a mineral, some rubrics looks like an animal. Which rubric should I select? Where do I base my prescription on? How do I work ahead? Like question, should I just go back to the rubrics, completely forget the sensation? What do we do? In a case taking, should I look for a rubric or should I look for a sensation? That's a question, right? Well, we are not the ones who decides what we have to look for. We just keep ourselves open. The case taking, if you see in my mind at a time, there are multiple thought processes that go on together. When a patient is sitting right in front of me, in fact, I should tell you that case taking starts, my assistants, my compounder, they don't give appointments. I give appointments. The simple reason is, the way patient books an appointment is the most significant part of the case. What they speak, how they speak, your actual case starts at that point itself. Let me give you an example. We do this live case seminars in various cities, and we were doing it in Los Angeles. So I was sitting inside the room, and the receptionist, the door was open. Patient walked in 5 minutes late. And what she was talking to the receptionist, we could hear. And she spoke about the fights and the traffic jam that happened, and there was a chaos there, and people were shouting, and lot of chaos that was going on, and that's the reason she was late. Moment she entered my room, she said, "Oh, hello doctor, when did you come here? I hope there were no terrorists in your flight and there were no bombs and you were fine." So before even the patient sits in the chair, you already know a lot about the patient. So she had to do with the fights and the chaos and the bombs and the terrorists and the violence and the energy you already knew. So there are a lot of thought processes that go on in your mind moment the patient walks in. The most important that we learn from our colleges is that we look for the PQRS at any level, whether it's in what the patient is talking, or the way, the location, the sensation, the modalities, the concomitants. This we are trained into it. So I'm not speaking more about it. But something which should be really peculiar. If you can explain by situation, by location, situation, by the situation of patient's life, or by the pathology, just take it off. The problem is when we select anything which can be logically explained. Now, if there is a death of relative in a family and if you are feeling grief, this could be very, very common. And if you base your prescription on that, you are going to fail. So, find out something that is peculiar. So, when the patient is talking, one part of my mind is looking, is he speaking anything peculiar? Is there anything? Is there any keynote? Is there any rubric? I just keep myself open to it. You observe it. Any non-human words, any words which represent any kingdom or any miasm, just be extremely alert and observe. So that's one part of it. The second part is my questions, and it's going according to a line that, okay, what is the level of experience? Okay, patient is now describing the facts. I'll take it deeper. Okay, now the feelings, now the emotions, delusions. Now I would ask questions for the sensation. Or there are gestures. So I would ask for the experience of it. Or there is a delusion. I would ask for the experience of it. And when he's describing, this chain of processes still observing, is there any peculiarity? So it simultaneously goes deeper. So one train of thought, the questioning, takes a patient according to the various levels, and meanwhile the other part of it, it keeps observing. So there is everything you are taking in a case. The rubrics, the keynotes, the sensation. In fact, ideally, is you move in and out of it. You are so flexible and so fluid, and your mind starts correlating multiple things at a time. Now, if I observe a very peculiar rubric in a case, and I know there are two remedies, one is pulsatilla and another is baraitacab, and immediately when I see in the patient what is coming up is a complete mineral attitude and a sense of incapability, immediately my mind would correlate, see, one rubric plus the sensation. And then it would say, oh, the miasm is also syphilitic, and then the pathology is also like this. So everything correlates together. This is how it works in a case. You are very fluid. You use rubrics also, you use materia medica also, and you use the sensation also. But you move in and out of it. Case taking is unbiased. You just go on and on. But the beauty is you have to see in a case. Some case may completely go for a sensation. Some case may completely go for a rubric. What is the level of experience that patient is going to? That's very important. So we'll come to